Hello everyone, this is Rico Roxx. As the people know me as Rico Roxx. This is episode 1 of the podcast, my podcast I'm doing. I haven't really picked up a good name for it yet, so bear with me. So, hey, this podcast is just going to be a way that I can express a lot of the stuff I want to express and reach out to people and build a community of mentally giant, socially suicidal gangsters. Really is what it is all about. So I have no equipment as of yet, but I've been having an overdriving desire to do something with my time. So how do we get here? Who is Rico Roxx? Rico Roxx, I am 29 years old and live in America, the USA. I'm in California right now, in Los Angeles. And I'm not gonna say I'm a wizard is what I think I am. I'm a mystic. I'm a idiot most of the time. But the times I'm not, I'm a weird fella is what I usually say. So I think that's probably the description I use for myself most of the time. And welcome. I want the episodes to be about an hour long. I feel like that's when I started listening to podcasts. The hour-long episodes is what I really got into. I felt like that was a nice frame for my attention span. I could put on a podcast and an hour later, and I could do something for an hour. Now I listen to Joe Rogan podcast, and that I just paused an episode actually so I could record this. I'm about 4 hours in on his August 31st episode 2020, which is 5 hours long, like 5.5 hours long, with Duncan Trussell. I did a YouTube under Rico Roxx. Was it? No, it was Hypertheorist Methodologies, which is my Instagram, by the way. Hypertheorist, one word, methodologies, altogether Hypertheorist Methodologies, because I used to ask myself, when people would ask me, like, what do you do? Or what are you? Are you a Christian? Or like, what is your label, boy? And I would say I'm a hypertheorist, because a theorist is someone who theorizes, and hyper is just to be in doing it in an intense way or a ramped up way. Like if I say I'm an agitator, but I'm a hyper agitator, which just means I agitate way more than your average. So I was a hyper theorist because I foolishly, I would say, not saying I disagree or have changed in any way, but I foolishly dove into the search for freedom as a youth. Searching for freedoms in all senses of it. Social freedom, mental freedom, physical freedom, emotional freedom, all these freedoms, right? Like, I want to know truth. Oops, I don't know where the freedom came from. Maybe I get freedom from it, is what I thought. Social. I was going to name this podcast Social Suicide, but the domain name wasn't available. So I ended up just buying RicoRoxx.com. So I don't know what I'm going to name this yet. But this is episode 1. And what was I just talking about? I was talking about the search for truth. So then that's what led me. And I was like, okay, I felt like the world. What does that mean when you think of search for truth? Like, what? Someone's lying, or is it someone maybe is misinformed? Because people could tell you a lie based off of intention or based off unintention, and depending on it, what their motives are, depending on what their agenda is, you could say. So I felt at a young age that I was being lied to. Very young, about 7 years old, is when I had a wake-up moment, like, hello, what are you doing with your life? And I'm not saying I have any success in anything in life. I'm not saying I have any of that. I currently am unemployed as far as, like, W-2 is concerned, and socially, I don't have really many physical friends right now that I could actually reach out and touch if I wanted to go talk to them. And it's all by my choosing. It's all, I'm okay. But at the same time, what got me here what got me to this point where I'm 29 and say I don't have a job and I don't have any friends. Search for truth, kids. And so at little 7-year-old, I was like, nope. But instead of, like, I guess when someone gets abused, or like when someone feels like deceived, you can go into a few mentalities, you can go into a few kind of roles or stances or belief systems, and you could be like, I gotta go cling to the first thing that seems like truth, oh gosh. Or you could say, I don't know, there's many, right? I kind of went into background mode. I was like, I'm going to observe. I became an observant observer. And that was kind of my gig. I don't know, like Marvel Universe, they have the observers. It's because I looked it up. I'm a symbolic motherfucker as well. Like, I love symbolism. And we'll get into that one episode, symbolism. Like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's the language without words, the symbols. And even some symbols, I'm sure, are words. In my old witch voice. Gotta keep myself on a train of thought, though. So, stances on once I realized that the world was a lie, or was filled with lies, I went into observe mode. And let me make sure my recorder's going because I just spoke for at least 10 minutes. Yeah, okay, I'm good. I'm at 6 minutes. So, observer, and that right there is where it all started. I became the observer. So, I'm doing this podcast right now by myself. It's just me, episode 1, Rico, because 1 is actually my favorite number. So it's just gonna be me, but I will have guests on from time to time to just talk. So it's just gonna be rants and stories, and it's just gonna be a place you can come listen to some stuff. I don't have a theme like conspiracy theories or government or finance or skills or how-tos or advice, even though all of that will be available right here. So make sure you hit subscribe, RicoRoxx.com. I don't know, I purchased the domain name. I'm sure it'll take me a while to get it going, but who knows. And as I became an observer, that really started opening my eyes. And now it's a slippery slope, kids. I'll tell you, folks. To this day, I'm still in the search. Not really anymore for truth, but it's always there. But I've slowed down because when you search for truth, it hurts. You know, so they say truth hurts, and you can't handle the truth. You really can't. And I'm saying that like, I know, who are you to tell me I can't? I'm so fucking smart, and I'm so different, I'm so gifted, and I'm so... No, you're not, okay? The truth hurts. The truth will fucking kill you, okay? You just have to take my word for it, because I'm one of the ultimate truth seekers. And it sucks. It does. It hurts. So I kind of put it in the back burner. It's not my main drive now. Now my main drive is, I would say, I don't even know what my main drive is. And that's why I'm also doing this, because I want to look back in the future and look back and see how crazy I was as a youth. And I know you're thinking to yourself, 29, you're a youth, man. You're not that young. You're probably over the hill like to your little, like, 18 teenagers. But yeah, I feel like a youth, okay? I feel like a little baby all the time. And I'm not like I'm having some midlife crisis, because I've felt like this forever. Like, I don't even feel much different. And I skateboard every day. And I'm not saying that, but that says what makes me a youth, because I just started doing that when I moved to LA 2.5 months ago, or less than 2.5 months ago, like 2 months ago. So it has nothing to do with the skateboarding, but what I'm saying is that I take tumbles now, and my body just heals really fast, and no aches or pains. And none of that still has to do with why I feel like a youth, but that just kind of reinforces the mental youth that I feel, because I still feel like the 7-year-old Rico almost. I feel I'm a lot more advanced in a lot of ways, but just like that song from Red Hot Chili Peppers, he's like, or was it Sublime, Santeria, the more I know, the less I, or something like that. I don't know who it's, I'm sure many songs, but the more I know, the less I know. And I know so fucking much. And education system, first of all, that was one thing. I'm a high school dropout and a college dropout. And it's like, oh my gosh, everyone stopped like, this guy is fucking uneducated. But shut up. Shut your fucking mouth, okay? Doesn't have anything to do with intelligence. Nothing. And I'm not saying if you're a 5-year doctorate at Harvard that you're an idiot, but you could be. I'm sure there's probably more idiots that come out of that than not, in my opinion. a bunch more people even. So by the end of this episode, folks, there's not going to be any listeners, and that is fun because I'm going to give you this key to immortality at the very last 10 minutes. So, I'm just going to do what I can to drive anyone away because, well, as being an immortal, I cannot give out the secrets so easy. But so I'm going to ramp it up, and at the very end, I'll give the little secret, but I'm going to make you listen to ramblings that are mentally torturous that I know for a fact no one can handle listen to. Before you get there, I hope you enjoy. Just kidding. So, intelligence and stuff like that. But as I became an observer, I started observing, and when you observe something, there's many things to be observed. So, like, you can observe the physical, you can observe the intention, you can observe what happens after, you can observe if it ever happens again, you can observe what things led up to it, you can observe how you feel about it, you can observe how, then you could observe the opposite of all those observations just for opposite theory, just so you can comb the spectrum of perception, which I did. And probably why I'm a weird motherfucker now. But as I said, that's really what this is all about. Just me being able to come and maybe find some people with like-minded thinking. So observer. I'm the observer. And like I said, Marvel Universe has, I guess, the Marvel Universe, what I read is because I Googled it, is there's observers that are seen throughout the Marvel Universe. And they're immortals, or they're just, they don't age, like, they probably live millions of years or something like that, so it's like, good is immortal. And I don't say immortal, I say immortal, because A-M-O-R-T, however you spell it, is how it means, because there's a difference there. I used to be like, oh, I'm an immortal, because I used to claim when people ask, what do you do for work, or like the conversation, your elevator speech, I'm an immortal hunter, or I'm searching for the fountain of youth, because I realized that as a young observer, the more time to observe, the more accurate observation you can get in theory, based on the overall sense of observing more things. And so I realized it's like, fuck being smart, fuck being strong, fuck education, fuck a woman, fuck whatever, fuck, blah, 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 fuck, all of that. First step, the very first step before any of that, beat time. Then you got a chance. Because if you first don't do that, you don't have any chance of ever finding truth, is what I was thinking to myself. If you don't conquer time first, it's futile, because the search for truth, I realized, or the search for what I wanted, my goal, my end visions for myself, there's no way a 60-year of mobility time span, then 30 years of fucking being hospitalized because of the fucking sickness of humans is enough time. It is a rush. It's like saying, I want to prepare a 15-course meal for 3 generations of family, but we got 10 minutes to do it in McDonald's drive-thru. Like, okay. It's stupid. It's dumb, okay? It's just retarded as fuck. I started noticing I'm cussing a lot because I'm trying to appease to the rebels out there. Which, what's up, rebels? Fuck the cops, nigga. I digress from that, but so you're trying to make this huge meal out of a McDonald's drive-thru with $5, right? It just sounds retarded, like Rico. Now you're just rambling, like, no, that's how it felt. Okay, I'm just trying to express myself. I felt like to ever understand and to live a fulfilling life that I would never be able to, because the conditions would never, under the time constraints, allow it. And that's a harsh reality for a lot of folks, kids. Time is about the essence. So that was I became an immortal hunter. I was like, okay, if someone has ever beat time, if someone has done it, because I believe anything is possible. I'll make that stance for anything, if under the circumstance, anything is possible. So I was like, I gotta beat time, and then like I pretty much stopped searching for the fountain of youth at like 28. So it's like, I'm not saying I found it or not, but I'm saying the search was over. And so let's say it was, I realized to myself, hey man, maybe just being a weird guy searching for the fountain of youth everywhere, that's maybe you shouldn't. Maybe have a kid one day. Maybe you should care about something. It would suck if it didn't yield, right? I'm not saying it didn't, but I'm not going to give out secrets till the last 10 minutes. You better listen. So, anyways, that was the first step. I was like, I wanted to figure out how to beat time because I figured, because I was raised on animes and Hollywood movies. Some of my favorite animes growing up. My first one were like Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z. Oh my gosh! As a youth, I was born in 1991, so I think Pokemon came to America in 1995 or 1996. Oh man, Dragon Ball Z came a little earlier, but like they were just running it on Cartoon Network. I think it was. I don't know exactly. Oh man, all that stuff has been so much, and it built to my influence, but it did it in an amazing way. And I'm gonna tell you guys about my life over time because I feel like it's like a movie. Let me check what time I'm at here. So I don't want to spend too much time because I feel like that's a confusing subject for people attempting. So it's the first time, and then I'll worry about other stuff. A majority, and there I went. I cast myself into this world as a 7-year-old, and let me tell you, that's an interesting 7-year-old. Even back then, I could imagine. Because I was kind, and that's why I thank Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that. Because Goku, Ash Ketchum, man, if you guys don't know anything about that, Pokemon is a little anime. I know, okay, everyone knows Pokemon. It's Dragon Ball Z. You might not know. It's like a fighting anime. This guy was dropped. It's like the Superman. If you don't know Superman, well, shit. So this alien kid gets dropped off on planet Earth. He on a self-automated autopilot spaceship by himself. Because this planet's incoming demise by a universal planet tyrant, and he's there. The race he is, which is a Saiyan race, are on Earth. God, it's fucking just super powerful, super fucking strong, compared like to 100 times strong as a baby to the strongest man on Earth, and could kick down trees and stuff. And with this power, and he was way different than anyone, but he was a good kid. He wanted good. And when I say good, I don't mean good as good and evil. He was kind and he was gentle. I mean, I don't like using good and evil to describe stuff because it's objective and subjective. So Goku, and that was my inspiration. I was like, wow, to have all the power, to have the ability to destroy the world, but yet harm a fly. This was my end with Goku, Ash Ketchum as well. I just said, whoops, try not to do that too much. It was really powerful for a kid who felt out of place because I knew that I was going to be powerful because just anyone who breaks away from the spell of monotonous human social conditioning is already just from that first day or 10 times as powerful thinking. I don't know about physically, but 10 times as powerful thinking as anyone around him by far, easily just woke nigga type shit. But I knew that I had big plans for my life, and I guess I was taking care of some of the paperwork early, as I guess you could say, like the HR stuff. Cause I think I like thinking long term and no term and instant term all at once. It's all simultaneous for me. I was like, I plan to be this super powerful human, and I feel like I don't trust no one out. And this is all as like a little 7-year-old kid. I'm thinking this. I was like, what kind of guy am I gonna be though? Am I gonna like? And see, this is where it kind of changed because now I'm turning more to the abusing people and reckless and like disregard for morals type. So now I'm becoming more like that as I get older and older and older and older. But as I'm losing that kindness for the most part, and I had a lot of that. I was really kind. I'm still really fucking kind, and I was kind my whole life. And so I kind of lost the train of thought there. So 7 years old, observer, watching my influences, and so I kind of was watching and like. I don't know, I lost train of thought. So anyways, that's me. I'm the observer. You can call me the galactic observer. If you're like, hey, Rico, what kind of guy is he? He's a galactic observer, mental giant, walks around like on 30 feet tall, Tiger Wood on these hoes, trying to bury these balls, 9/11 like emergency calls. But that was from Lil Wayne. Oh man, Lil Wayne too. Oh yeah, okay. So I was using influence. I was influenced. So it wasn't like I was some 7-year-old. Like I'm a blank slate. No, I had influences to that I wore as masks or shields into this. And let me tell you, folks, what I found in the 29 years I was alive. So minus 7, so 22, which is my, I would say, second favorite number, which is kind of awesome that they're both getting shout outs right now, is, wow, the search for truth has led me down some ways. And a lot of people, if you ask, like, I have a Facebook, Rico Rodriguez, A lot of people think I'm crazy. A lot of people think I'm just some drug addict, fucking super psychotic, just I am a keyboard warrior. Like, if I said the shit I believe in real life, I would be maimed. I would be hung by my fucking toenails, and everyone would cheer. Okay? Because I am a fucking crazy motherfucker, so don't fuck with me. I'm just kidding. But freedom, I will, man. Dumb motherfuckers, man. See, this is where it's like I need to calm down because I could just start flying off the handle in my own fits of psychosis, rage of why I think people are slaves and mental sheep, and I'm no better. I'm much better actually, but yeah. So I was realizing, and so I started observing, and I was like, okay, you have I was looking at elementary school that was out, and I remember when I pretty much woke up. That's right during the election of Al Gore and George W. Bush. Because as a kid, they had us, man, kids, now that I look back, I'm so glad I still remember this because it had, looking back and trying to make sense of it, it makes no sense. It is social conditioning, folks. They had 7, because they were like, okay, we're going to have a president's election, fucking, yeah, woohoo. And all the kids are like, we're fucking little idiots because we're being raised by fucking idiots. And no, that just could relate to less time to process, but and I've already been indoctrinated for the last few years. So anyway, I digress on that. They had us in class, and they asked us, pick one, vote, and that's where I first heard the word vote. And kids are smart. See, that's the thing. Even you, anyone who listens, even the dumbest of you are really smart, which is interesting. As far as like recital and processing power, the human processing power is, they say, stronger than the fastest supercomputer. It's like, I always thought that was interesting. I'll go back to the Al Gore thing. Isn't it interesting that they say that the human mind is more powerful than the most super powerful supercomputer that people can imagine, but yet we can't remember one fucking phone number? I just got a phone number moving out to Los Angeles area. It took me like a lot. It took me like 3 weeks to memorize my own phone number, because that's how much effort I guess I was putting into it. But damn, one number. I don't know anybody else's number. Nobody. I know my dad's number. I've had that memorized for a long time. But 2 numbers. I have 2 phone numbers in the world and I think I'm one of the smartest people in the world. Can you believe that? If anyone's listening, can you believe that? It's just interesting because just because you have processing power doesn't mean you have to use it. I think that is the thing, because when they say that we're smartest in the fastest, smartest computer, but yet we can't do a simple algebra problem or something like can't do 10 times 45. I can't do that. I mean, okay, that one I can do. 17 times 5,500,000. I don't know. You get my point. Yeah, we can't do simple calculations and shit. And we can't do this. We can't do that. We're just unable, or the desire to is not there, or the practiced skill of that, if you want to get more technical, is not there. So it's not, we can't do it. That's very low level to speak of me. So I thought that was always really funny. Like, yeah, I am a fucking supercomputer, but I cannot do it. I cannot fill out an application. I can't sit down for more than 10 minutes without fucking forgetting why I'm sitting there. Yeah, my attention span. Memes. Yeah, do drugs, smoke weed, nigga. In my George W. Bush impression. So they had us as kids. And they were like, okay, so we were like, okay, we'll do the stuff. We're going to do it. We don't care about the people. They were like, well, what you're going to do is just pick one of these 2 people. The teacher was just like, we're not, fuck you kids. You guys are crazy. Pick one of these 2 names, and then I can go home and drink myself to death, okay? Thank you. We were like, okay. And I remember, so I'm sitting there in front of the paper, like, there's Al Gore. Okay. I have no idea what it looks like. Actually, I think we do know what it looks like, because I think they had pictures of him. I'm not sure, but I don't even think that we knew what it looked like, to be honest with you, now that I think about it. I just remember there being 2 options on the piece of paper. Al Gore, George Bush. Al Gore, George Bush. And they're like, this is going to be, and they're like, your parents are going to have to choose one of these 2 people, and these are going to be the leader of the free world. So we knew that we were picking the leader. We knew we were picking someone important. I chose Al Gore, by the way. And the reason I did is because the name Gore. I was like, Gore, okay, I don't know, Al Gore. I was just picking it based on, and that's how I still vote, pretty much. Whenever I vote, just whatever name sounds cooler, so I'm voting for Trump. Alright, I just lost the rest of them. So, I was looking at the piece of paper. Al Gore. I was like, okay, gore, blood. Okay, cool. And I was into violent video games too as a kid, so I knew what gore was. I played Killer Instincts for Super Nintendo. Heck yeah, shout out if anyone knows what that is. Killer Instincts. And George Bush just sounded like a nerd. I was like, Bush, you mean those things outside? I ain't gonna get caught voting for them Bushes. I'm gonna fucking vote for the gore. Let the body hit the floor. I was all about it. I'm kind of outrageous like that. I'm still pretty fucking gory and violent. And so I picked out Gore, and it turns out he lost. I was all butt. I was like, I picked a loser. But even then, the indoctrination, but even looking back to that, like, how we choose stuff, you can be observed. So that's basically what this podcast is about. It's just me rambling and ranting and theorizing based on my observations. And I like to say I have a good talking voice. I hope that translates to anyone listening. I don't say, after every sentence. I don't say, every 5 seconds, That was ironic. And my vocabulary is okay. But I think I have something to offer the world. I think that my unique set of observations mixed with my lack of moral compass. And I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Although, ask your mom, my dick is. That's rim shot. It's interesting. But I think I want to evolve. I want to keep going. But it becomes a lot. Because part of the things I don't like about myself is how I give in to the magnitude of some things and then just say, no, it's too big, so fuck it, I ain't gonna do it. My life is one big revolving door of that because I have superpowers, basically. And it's a lot. And I have this big goal for myself of becoming immortal. Oh, is that where I think the ranch, because I didn't describe the difference between amortal and immortal. That was still way back there, but damn folks. So this is what it is. Hope you enjoy. So as I was going, the observation, the violence, I think I have a certain set of things. And I used to take notes, but then I became homeless. Big surprise there. Look at you, fucking Rico Roxx, you suck. All those people thinking after I said I vote for Trump way back there is like a joke. Not saying I am or not, but that was a joke when I said it. And I can get lost in my own despair. I'm like that mad genius. Like it's like, but I have an addictive personality, you would say. I tend to. It seemingly seems because even right now I'm a drug addict, and by the time I get like a following, I more than likely won't be because I plan on slowing down. But I do drugs every day, and I don't want to say which ones, but they're not none of the nice ones. It's some hardcore legal street drugs. Okay, every day, every day. And I drink every day as well too. No, I don't get drunk every day, so that's the difference. I used to get drunk every day. I lived in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, in Calumet, Michigan, if anyone knows. Right there, I just actually took a swig of some 99 peaches, 99 oranges. It's 99 proof. Liqueur, 49.9% alcohol. And so what that leads me to, then that is, I lose weeks. I lose months. Just in a daze of Rico Roxxisms and Rico Rockness. And it's great and all that, but I don't have nothing to show for it sometimes because I don't take any notes. I don't do anything. So that is what this is. This is going to be tapes from the madness. I like to call this time of my life, and it's been like the last 4 years, the dark ages, the dark times. It's like when I'm later on in life, when I'm like, in with my bureaucrats, when I'm with the bureaucrats and we're bureaucrating, be like, oh, Rico, what did you do in your 20s? The dark years, okay? These are the dark black ages where it's like, I don't remember none of them. I kind of went to, last thing I remember, I was 18. Next thing you know, I'm 35. In dead. Like, no, I'm just kidding. But, it's my excuse and that's my story and I'm sticking to it. the Dark Ages. So this is just my outlet, and I wanna have kind of interviews and really like prolific talks and really bright stuff, life-changing podcasts as well. But I'm gonna let you guys know right now, you're gonna get some moms, you're gonna be like, this guy, someone call the hospital, he is a danger to himself, he's a danger to those around him. And I won't disagree with you. And I won't be surprised if that happens, okay? Like, honestly, for the shit I get away with, I should be in prison for life, based on the laws of the white man. I should be. No, I think that, like, I'm not gonna say I'm a liar and an actor and I'm fake and you shouldn't like me, but I put on a big front for most people when I meet them. Because, no, and I'm way better than I could be. I could be just a fucking fake human. I'm not. I'm myself, basically. Mostly everybody. But I hold back the very sick and sharp things about myself. I'm talking like the ones where it's like, I don't care even if you're woke and you're just super cool. I can talk to you. Even that I won't discuss with people because I'm that fucking crazy and cold and dark. Okay? See, I don't whisper because it's like, oh God, I don't want God to hear me. Shh. Because there's parts of myself in which are so fucking twisted. And it's okay. I'm my biggest fan, personally. I think my mom is my biggest fan. Hey, Mom, if you're listening, I love you. To wherever. Oh, man. So thank you, folks. Now you prepare yourselves. And so, yeah, I want to have a prolific series podcast, too. So, and I just want to have a good time. And we're going to have talks. And we're going to do this stuff. So this is just kind of an intro. Today, I don't want it to end yet. It's not even, let me see what it is. I'm 31 minutes and a half hour in. Felt like 5 minutes. So I moved out to Los Angeles. I guess we'll just talk about, no, I don't want to talk about the homelessness thing. I'll save that for episode 2. Well, Rico Roxx loves you. Come on back. We're going to have stories. I want to tell stories. I guess I'll leave you guys with a story. I was thinking of a story. Which story was it? I'm going to just kind of like throw words around so there's no dead air, but as I use other mental processes during the story. So, yo, hey, Rico Roxx, supreme ruler of the sourest mind. What was the story? Did it leave me blind? That I can't remember, even takes some time. But I can remember anything. So bear with me. Tick tock. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like the pressure. It's not even the pressure. What the fuck was that story? It wasn't the story about the dude throwing the weed in the trash can. It wasn't. Was it finding stuff? What was that story now? I think about it. Hold on, folks. Give me a quiet 2-3 seconds here. Which one of the stories I want to start a podcast? That's one of the stories I want to tell. I think maybe it was the Al Gore story. And I don't even know what that was all about. Like, that's just something, like, no, just to show, like, I don't know. You have to go back and listen. I don't know. All I know is that kids don't know shit. And if you don't take time to take grasp of your life and your thoughts, I guess that was what the whole point of that was. It was like the mental. I put myself in like as a youth, 7-year-old kid. It was like, I'm going to, like, I felt like it was all eyes. And so I was like, well, let's, like, observe for the truth, the search of truth. And yeah, so truth seekers, academics, therapists, please. I'm just kidding. I just said, that's twice in a half hour. Jeez, kid. Must be the alcohol. Shout out T-Pain. So I'm gonna just tell a quick story for fuck whatever story it was. First time I seen snow. I'll tell you, it's like probably a 2-minute story. So right when I became woke, it was right around the time my parents divorced. I didn't want to, I'm not going to talk about that right now, but my mom ended up moving this was actually before that, so we ended up moving to Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Shout out to the 920 Sheboygan, Wisconsin, an hour north of Milwaukee, an hour south of Green Bay. The little slice of heaven I like to call Sheboygan. Bratwurst, hard rolls, cults, that's where it all comes from, okay? That's why that's how I became a cult leader. Sheboygan, Wisconsin. But that's where I've seen snow for the first time. I was in a U-Haul. I was a little kid, 7, maybe less, because it was around 6, 7. And I lived in Los Angeles County. That's where I was from. I was born in Long Beach, California. 1991, Long Beach Community Hospital. Shout out. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Never seen snow in LA. Seen it in movies. But when you see something, like something is life-changing and seeing snow for the first time, it's more than the movies. I think that's why it's like hands-on learning. Like, I think even space travel, I don't believe in space at all the way that NASA says it is. I believe NASA is a lying organization. I'm getting more hate right now. It's all lies, kids, I'm telling you. If you're just a sensitive, yup, get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Die! Alright, calm down, Rico. Okay. It's not their fault. Alright, yeah, I talked to myself too. Seen snow. I was asleep in the U-Haul and I wake up. And then there it was. And it was it wasn't, I don't know if it was snowing, I think it was lightly, but it was just after a big powdery snowstorm. If anyone who lived in snow before, if you haven't, oh my gosh, it's mind-blowing, it's awesome. It's great, it's beautiful, it's life-changing, okay, you need to do it. If you live in Hawaii, does Hawaii have snow? I don't know, that's a question, I never thought about that until right now. Does Hawaii have snow? Does it snow in Hawaii? Somebody answer me that. Someone send me an email, RicoRoxx221@gmail.com, Rico, ROXX 221@gmail.com. Send me an email. Does Hawaii snow? And I thought my eyes were broken. That was the thought that ran through my head as a 7-year-old, because I've used to seeing the streets, everything, colors. I've already programmed what I should be seeing normally. And then when I opened my eyes and everything was white, everything. The houses, the sidewalks, the lawns, the street we were driving on, the trees, everything. It was just like a big powdery snow had just happened. So everything, like, if you know what I'm talking about, it's just everything. It's a blanket of white. Blanket. Boom. Like someone just took a big old bucket of white paint and dropped it on earth. And I actually slapped the side of my head, like, a tempo, like, not hard, just like, tap, tap, like, I'm trying to put my eyes back in focus. I was like, oh no, my eyes, I've lost the ability to see color. What is happening? No. I went into like a mini panic as a kid. I was like, what happened when I was asleep? Did I lose my ability? And then it turns out it was just snow. And I was like, oh, duh. We're in the sky. We must have made it. We must be here. Wow, what a nap. I must have been so bored or whatever. I was tired and fucking put myself in a coma. Woke up. There we are. In Wisconsin. Take my girl to Wisconsin. And man, that was I've had many moments that prolific in my life. But wow, that's when I realized, I was like, what else have I not seen that I would consider myself mentally broken to perceive? So the Prospector's Paradise. This is Prospector's Paradise, this podcast. Prospector's Paradise podcast. I'm going to check if that name is available. I'm going to go look at the domain name. That was more of like a colloquial, if you will. Because I wasn't like in between. That was like, I knew I was going to say it. That wasn't a speech impediment. That was I'm searching for time while I think, which is still awful. Rico, ew. Gosh, kid. Anyways, so there's the story, and it blew my mind, and it was cold. And Wisconsin showed me snow for the first time when I was like 7 years old. It was really cool. And I became a snowball fighter, and snow is really fun. Snow is for good times. I love a good snow. I lived in the Upper Peninsula, Calumet, like I was mentioning, and that is Winter's Wonderland. I lived in California now. I moved to the Bay Area when I first moved here to California. It was the end of summer, fall. It was like beginning of fall of 2019. So less than a year I've been. So I have had one winter, and that was in the Bay Area. That was in Pittsburgh, California, just around San Francisco area. And see, I say and. I like saying and a lot instead of just because I hate so much. I say and a lot. Like, I'll be like, and. And to me, that is power. That is greatness. Stop saying you fucking retards. It sounds stupid. You sound retarded when you do that. You sound really retarded, actually. Like Down syndrome. You sound like a dog that got fucking his paw slammed in the car door, when someone just hopping out the car and closes the car door on the dog's palm, and they're just like, So you sound like when you say, maybe, you sound like it. No. Sounds something bad, though. Something stupid. So that's my snow story, folks. Thank you for listening. This is Rico Roxx here, coming at you live, baby. I want you to stay free your mind, kids. Free your mind. That's my slogan. Free your mind. Bye now. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening.